right after the budget, we really reached out to our congressional representatives to make sure they understood we were totally on board with doing what they needed to give them the ammunition to make the argument New York State needed and deserved a very substantial second bill. We appreciate the CARES Act. It made a big difference. I just know on the unemployment, some of you may know, I had 5 people work full-time for 2 months helping just the people in my district get unemployment and that extra $600. So that mattered, but right now we need this substantial sum that is in the HEROES Act. I'm concerned that time goes by and the Senate seems unwilling to sort of step up to the plate. Things may change, I don't know. But for me and for my colleagues, getting this additional money is incredibly important. That being said, you know, the governor, the first period that we gave to the governor has expired, and he could come. Ooh, Lee, making a lot of noise over there. He could come back with the cuts right away. He could come back with the cuts today. The first period expired on April 30th. So he could come back and say, I am cutting, you know, across the board this much as I threatened, and we need to be prepared. So our leader convened us to work on other ideas so that we are prepared to come back with some, because at the end of the day, as she said, and everything has to be on the table. I have always been opposed to additional income tax change because Westchester is the highest property taxes in the country and people are already being taxed out of their homes. That being said, and I don't know if you all felt this, but during this pandemic, in my district, which runs from the Yonkers border with the Bronx all the way to Bedford, includes Portchester, White Plains, New Rochelle, Mamaroneck, and some communities with a great deal of struggle. It was clear that people earning, and this is the majority of people laid off, under $65,000 a year were suffering. They did not have enough money to get by without the unemployment. And those earning $5 million a year, they may have lost stock investment or they may have lost their job, but they had reserves. So I have proposed a bill that for a 2-year period, and it's really based on my experience in the coronavirus pandemic, the rates for $5 million a year earners in New York State would be increased to 10.02%. That's about a 2% increase over a 2-year period, and then it would expire. I wouldn't say that it's the most popular with everyone, but for me, it was clear that we needed to have a greater shared sacrifice. In my bill, 85% goes to public education, K through 12, public education, and 15% to SUNY and CUNY. They're on the front line of the cut. There's just no question. They're going to get substantially cut. So my bill is out there. I'm not drawing a lot of attention to it because our focus is now not to detract from the governor and our joint effort to get more money in Congress. And whatever money we made, even if my bill went into account, is drop in the bucket on the larger shortfall the state experiences. And I have no idea whether there's support for my bill or a number of other revenue raisers. There's a package of revenue raisers out there, but they're all modest in comparison to what we need from the federal government. So our focus is on trying to get our Senate Republicans from other states to join us in supporting this bill and help New York out of this terrible fiscal challenge.